Hey, it's Amber, and I'm here with my lovely husband, Thomas DeLauer, and our 4-week-old son, Tommy. For those of you who don't know Thomas, he's the #1 most subscribed intermittent fasting expert on YouTube. Thomas has helped thousands get into the best shape of their lives, and in this video, we want to talk about a subject that a lot of women have been writing in about, and that is how women can lose weight with intermittent fasting.
Awesome. This is an awesome subject, and I can't wait to dive into it, so I appreciate you wanting to do this video with me.
So first off, Thomas, what is intermittent fasting, and why are so many women having such great success losing weight with it?
Yeah, so intermittent fasting is essentially where you are going periods of time without eating that are longer than usual. For example, you might fast for 14, 16, 18 hours. It's a little bit different from the conventional way of thinking when it comes down to losing weight or getting in shape. The reason so many people lose weight with it is simply because when you are fasting, your body's not having food consistently being piled on for your body to burn. It's so simple. I mean, fasting is something that we've been doing for thousands of years. But just recently have people been able to understand how powerful it is when it comes down to allowing your body to use its stored forms of fat. So it's like when you deprive yourself of food for a specific period of time, your body starts to utilize its stored body fat, which is exactly why it's so powerful and why so many people are having success with it, both men and women.
Do you have any tips for women on how to get the best out of their intermittent fasting routine?
For the most part, women respond a little bit differently. I mean, their bodies respond to starvation signals in a much different way than men do, simply because the female body is programmed to produce children. So when it's in a state of calorie restriction for extended periods of time, there can be some negative side effects. But fasting is also very effective for women if it's done properly. You just need to fast in a little bit of a different way. You're focusing on shorter fasting windows and a little bit longer eating windows. And I mean, studies have been showing that women can lose just as much fat as a man can with a properly designed fasting program, even if you're using a larger eating window. Again, it's all about timing, it's all about hormones.
So how can women tell if fasting is right for them or not? Totally.
It takes a little bit of work, but at first it's pretty simple. You'll know if you are not responding to fasting, if you're a woman, if you start having some of these side effects. Some of the things that you might feel: super low body temperature. If you feel like you're getting really cold all the time. And what that is usually a sign of is decline in thyroid function. So you'll notice that, or extreme sluggishness. Now, I'm not talking like when you first start fasting as a female, you're going to feel a little bit sluggish either way, like men and women will. But females specifically need to look out for feeling cold. It's a sign that their thyroid is slowing down. And in case you didn't know, the thyroid is really like the body's thermostat and regulates how much fat we burn, how much heat our body puts out. And if that's running slow, you're going to feel cold. So that's really the first thing you want to look out for. The other thing is if you have a brain fog that just doesn't go away, your body is doing what it can to preserve the ability to have a kid. I mean, as a female's body is really just designed to preserve that aspect no matter what. So that means sometimes when a woman is fasting, they might get a little bit of cognitive decline because their body's doing whatever it can to preserve the reproductive system. Now, that doesn't always happen, but if you feel like you're just never climbing out of that rut after 3-4 days of fasting, then you may want to reconsider your fasting.
So in your opinion, what is the best way for women to fast successfully?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I mean, I would say the best way for women to fast is going to be something known as crescendo fasting. It's also known as gentle fasting. Crescendo is kind of a fancy word that's given to it. But basically, you're starting off by selecting 3 days a week where you're going to complete a 12-hour fast, which really isn't that hard to do. You think about it, you're fasting 8 to 10 hours when you sleep anyway, so you're just adding a couple more hours into it. You're just skipping breakfast for the most part. And you know, sleep is included in that, so it's really not much. But once you're comfortable with that, then you want to add on about an hour each week to those fasting days, and that way you're getting your body a little bit more accustomed to fasting. You're able to balance and be able to see exactly how you're gauging and how you're feeling as you move on. You really want to keep it at the 14-hour mark for the most part though, because that's where most of the hormone thriving is going to happen. That's where hormone balancing occurs. You start pushing it past 14 hours, you can throw off your hormones a little bit. But here are some other things that women need to know when it comes down to fasting. What types of exercises you should avoid when you're fasting, because some kinds of exercise can actually cause a hormonal chaos that you don't really want. And also the best type to end up incorporating into your routine. You want to work out a specific way. When it comes down to what to eat to break your fast, and this is something I talk about in my programs a lot, is how you break your fast is critical because that's going to dictate hormone function, it's going to dictate a lot of different things. It makes sense to explain this right now because I just posted up a video on my website that talks about all the crucial tips that women need to know when it comes to weight loss and fat loss success with fasting. So just head on over to ScienceBasedSixPack.com and we will see you there.